I got a
Right.
try as I was in Phoenix, and at the time Charles Barkley was playing for the basketball team,
Yeah.
and they wanted to put heat on me, so they called me Sir Charles. And then after my match, Vince basically says, "You're hired. Um, I want you to go home. We're gonna put you on payroll. I want you to go home, keep training." He goes, "I've got to come up with something for you." He says, "You have a baby face." He says, "You have a body of a monster." He says, "But you have a baby face." He goes, "I got to do something with that face." And that's what they came up with, Papa Shango. That's why I came out as a painted character, is because
Yeah.
I had a baby face. But like I'm 59 years old today, and when you look at most guys 59, I still look a lot younger. So I'll
Yeah,
take
no,
that.
you definitely do. You still have the same face. When they gave you that, so you told us how that came about, Vince. Did you think that that was going to stick? How did you feel about the character when they gave it to you?
Um, like I said, I wasn't a wrestling fan, so I wasn't really smart to the game at all. I didn't know if wrestling was real or not when I got into it, and it was real. It was cool. If it wasn't, it was cool with me.
Yeah,
So, man, I was at a point. It's hard. It's not hard to answer that question, but you have to understand who I was at the time. I mean, I was this big black biker, and I listened to country music. Okay, to this day, I still listen to country music. I love old country music. Um, but I took it as like a job, as a role, and I tried to do the best I could. I was so far away from being whatever a voodoo guy was that I just tried my best, and I took a lot of advice. But I just rode with it. Whatever gimmick that I was, and you see all the ones in the back, I
yeah,
just tried my best at it. If it worked, it worked. The thing about me is wrestling, for me, I love the business, have respect for the business, made money in the business, nothing but love and respect. Okay? But it was my second job. It was never my first. My first job was I was a part owner of a topless club in Vegas, and it just
hmm
sold Nick Cheetahs. It just sold about a couple of years ago. But that I always had that. So I always had a means of income coming in. So it
right.
wasn't about the money. It was about me being at the time with crazy people that were just as crazy as me and having a good time. And I was getting paid to do it. So you could have made me a voodoo man, and that didn't matter, man. I was having fun, and I was meeting people. And I don't know if the guys are crazy today like they used to be. You probably can't be because of social media. But there was no social media when we were doing our thing. But
Right.
the road was fun. It was fun. I know you're all about all the bad things about wrestling, but there's a lot of good things too, man. And it was a great part of my life.
I'm just literally shocked hearing all of this because I look back at your time as Papa Shango, and I was watching that growing up, and yeah, literally you scared me. That was one of the first gimmicks outside of the Undertaker that had me like, no, no, I don't. This character is. You did such a good job with it. Like I legit used to have nightmares. Like,
Um, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, no, I'm just like I think back to the feud with you and Ultimate
Ultimate
Warrior and the whole
Warrior,
promos
yeah.
and things that led up
Oh,
to that. Man, I watched it and I was uncomfortable when I saw your character come out afterwards.
it was something, man. And it's people that are in their mid 30s now. They were all kids when I was doing that. So it's funny to talk to them now because they're like, dude, you have no idea how afraid I was of you when I was a kid because I was literally, no pun intended, but I was literally the kid's boogeyman, the real
Yeah.
boogeyman to a lot of people that are 35, 38, 40 years old now. They were kids then. And so, but I was just trying to do the best I could, man. That's all I was doing.
You
I
really
wasn't
did.
Papa
Yeah.
Shango at night, believe me.
you took it and ran with it. What do you think of the because there's obviously critics with everything, but I personally think that the character, when you look at what's happening right now, especially, was really ahead of its time. What do you think about those critics?
To be honest, I don't care about what critics have to say about anything, but it is what it is. I did the best I could. You either liked it or you didn't like it. And to be honest, it's cool if you liked it, but if you didn't, I could care less.
Yeah.
I did the best I could. I wasn't no voodoo man. I was green. Well, I was been in the business for a minute, but I did the best I could to be somebody to hand you a gimmick that you become a voodoo man. And we did the best we could with it.
I know you said at first, you were just trying your best, but after years in the business, do you have any thought on that? How important do you think it is to know your character?
Well, The Godfather, take that. I mean, that was me being me, knowing me. So it worked the best, and it got over the best because I knew me. So, I mean, you really need to know the character, but I did it's not like I just put that shit on and went out there. I mean, I spent time in, New Orleans. We would talk to some voodoo people. I had books, the spells, the symbols, and the spells, and the old boy, and everything I was saying was legit. And the spells that I were casting were legit spells. And I have a book, I have this book now, a book of spells. So everything I was doing was legit.
Oh,
it
that's great.
So I should have said that, but I mean, it wasn't, I just didn't go out there all willy-nilly, as some of my friends say. I really, I put a lot of time into it. I really got to know it as much as I could, being who I was. If that makes sense.
No, it does. Oh, that's great. I had no clue the work that really went into that, but it makes sense.
I sit down the name because we did when I met Vince in his office for the first time over the gimmick, we came up with the name right then. And he had these books and these names. And so I said, I like this. And the correct pronunciation of it is Shango. Yeah. But I thought Shango sounded country. And I didn't want to say Shango. It sounded too country to me.
Yeah.
So I pronounced it Shango because I made it a little deeper. So Shango was actually the keeper of the grave. He's a real person, and he's in the movie Live and Let Die, where they took the character from. He's called Baron Samedi or Baron Samadai.
Right,
but,
right.
We changed his name to Shango, who is still Baron Samadai or Samedi, whichever way you say it. And then we were looking at surnames and this and that, and it was Papa, and I'm like, what about Papa Shango? And Vince goes, you got it. I like that. Papa Shango. Papa Shango. And Vince starts going, Papa Shango. He goes, I like that. That's where we got it.
Woo! Message Daddy. Boogie Woogie Man feel good. I tell my people, my brothers and sisters, don't you dare miss online. Rewind, recap, relive. Oh yeah!